doing 45-ish minutes, 60-ish minutes of live side split stretching. I keep on fumbling and falling over because I'm sitting on some yoga blocks, and that was just a bad idea. But we do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully, with enough struggling and practice, we'll make a whole bunch of progress in our side splits together. Che, welcome back. It's good to see you. And let's go. Let's get to it. You ready for these? Where I put these? We are warming up, and the first thing that we're gonna do is called hip cars. Hip cars are all about bringing your legs and hips through their full range of motion using your muscle power. So let's do that. Coffee. Okay. We're gonna start by bringing the knee up as high as you can, directly in front. We're gonna open up that hip directly to the side. Keep that knee as high as you can. If you need to hold on to something for balance, go ahead and lean against a wall or grab a table, the head of a chair. I don't know if that's the back of a chair, the back of a chair. And from here, I'm gonna spin around. You don't have to move. We're gonna rotate the leg. We're gonna try and get horizontal first. And then we're gonna get even further. Bring that knee down. Bring the ankle up, 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 up. Oh, and from here, we're gonna bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Really bring that leg back. This is called hip extension. And that is one rep. So we go from front to side to rotate the leg and then all the way back. We're gonna do 10 of these. I'm gonna keep on calling out each of the important key buzzwords. I'm gonna check my microphones real quick before we continue. And it's time to go. Let's do it. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open, horizontal, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. That's 3. We're gonna do 10 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Whew, hip cars going forward. That is 10. We're gonna do the other side. Let's go. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. I think it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. That is hip cars going forward. Now we're going to do them in reverse. Work those same points that we're going to try and hit, but do them backwards. So we're going to start with the hardest one of all, going back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, pull that hip flexor in the front back as much as you can. Then we're going to lift the leg to the side. We want to feel cool. We can be like, whoosh, doing some kicks. But we're not really doing kicks. We're just lifting the leg as close to horizontal as possible to start. And then I want you to keep rotating. Rotate, 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 rotate. Bring that knee down towards the ground. And that ankle up from here. Do the opposite. Reverse. Reverse. Ankle down. Knee up. And finish by bringing the knee forward. Cool? Don't worry. I know it's a lot. We're going to talk through every time. Back. Horizontal. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 4. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 5. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 6. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 8. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 9. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. knee, 10. Oh, that's 10. Whew. That is hip cars going backwards. We just did a whole bunch of hip cars. We got one last leg. But before we continue, it's time to remind you that we're doing 45 to 60-ish minutes of live side split stretching. We are taking care of the muscles in our hips, in our legs, getting a whole bunch of hip mobility. And we do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes over to the internet. I hope you bring good vibes right back into the chat and help support each other. We do this in hopes that the combination of consistency, the combination of regular practice, plus a fun place to be with other people who are doing the same thing is going to help us all make a whole bunch of progress in our side splits together. If that's cool, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We're here every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's right now. Cool? All right. Let's get back into the fourth and final hip car. Same movements, other side. Ready? Bring the leg back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, pull that knee back, lift directly up to the side, rotate that ankle up, ankle down, and bring the knee to the front. I have a little bit of weird hip pain right here, usually at like 45 degrees. Nothing happened this time, so I'm a little confused, but let's keep going. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Ooh, there we go. I don't know if you could hear that or if the noise canceling on the mics did too good a job, but that was snappy. Knee is number 3. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. And I guess I should finish the story about my hip. Usually, after the first snappy, crackly sensation, it goes away and it does not bother me again. So it's just the first rep or two. The first one, I'm probably a little overcautious and I don't go hard enough to cause the hip thing to happen. The second one, I probably am like, oh, it didn't happen. And then it happens. And then by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's fine. I don't know. Cool. All right. I have, through telling that story, completely lost track of how many of these we've done. So let's just pretend this is 9 and this is our last one. Ankle up, ankle down, knee forward. Whew, that is our hip cars. That is the first of our 3 warm-up exercises, the first of our 8 moves. And with that, grab a sip of water, grab a sip of coffee, whatever you're drinking. It's 9 p.m. for most of you, so maybe don't drink coffee. Just need to rest. All right. Let's get into warm-up exercise number 2, the elephant walk. We're trying to get into this L shape. We're folding, bringing the belly button down towards the ground. You should feel maybe a little bit of stretch in the low back, maybe in the glutes, but mostly I want you to feel it in the hamstrings. I did this very intensely about 12 hours ago because on the weekends we also have a 9 a.m. show. So I'm going to be a lot less intense today because I have 2 more of these to go. And I don't think my body's going to be ready for 4 shows in a row if I go full intensity every single time. So I want you to try your best to bring the belly button down and hang out here. Just chill, relax. Breathe. This is the warm-up. This is not about intensity right now. This is about getting the body prepared for the stuff to come. So just chill. Just chill. Now that you've chilled for a little bit, I want you to start bending one knee and straightening the other in succession. Going from side to side. Keep on trying to bring the belly button down. And when you're doing this, if you're doing it right, you should feel a whole bunch of stuff going on in your hamstrings, shifting, wiggling, squirming almost. That is absolutely normal. You got a lot of stuff going on in your hamstrings. Your hamstrings, for example, are 3 different ropes of muscle, and one of them is even a bicep, which means one end is one place, and then there's 2 ends on the other end. So there's like 4 ropes of muscle in just your hamstrings. And you got, bone in there, you got soft tissue like fascia. I'm trying to fill the space while we just do a couple of these. And I think I'll run out of topics. So keep on focusing on bringing that belly button down. Compress, compress, compress. Feel those muscles, that tissue kind of squirming in place. If it's a little bit uncomfortable, if it's a little bit weird, that is absolutely okay. If you're feeling a little bit of tingliness in your toes, that is also okay. If something is shocking and intense, then maybe that is not okay. You might want to stop and give that a rest. Okay, now that we've hung out here for a little bit, I hope you've realized you can fold much deeper than you normally can. This is the power of a warm-up. Just doing a little bit of bending one knee at a time can make you realize you're way more flexible than you thought. Whew. From here, we're gonna slowly wiggle our butts and come on up. Whew. Shake out the legs, especially if they're tingly. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I don't know, my arms are still crossed. It's not good for my balance. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And cool, we're gonna get back in the same position. But instead of doing just purely hamstring stuff, we're gonna do some thoracic rotation, which means we're gonna rotate our spines and loosen up our backs. All right, we're going to fold forward. I'm gonna bend one knee. Right now, my left leg is bent, my right leg is straight. I'm gonna reach my left hand across to the straightened leg, and I'm gonna push against the ankle to help rotate my chest. My chest is rotating to the right, my right arm is extending behind me, my head is rotating and looking at my hand, and whew, that is half of one rep. Let's do the other side, and that would be one. Reach across, my left leg is straight, chest is rotating to the left, head is rotating to the left, left hand is extended. Reach, 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 and relax. That is one rep. We're gonna do 5 of these in total. Let's go. And that's 2. If you need a reminder, my right leg is straight, my left leg has a bent knee, my left hand is reaching across to the straight leg, and everything else is pushed back, 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 back. I believe this is number 3 that we just finished. You can take your time with these. See if you can reach further on every rep. We're just doing 5, so it should be possible for you to try to reach a little bit further back each time. If we were doing like 30, 40, 50 of these, maybe not so much, but 5 I think we can do. That is 5 reps. Shake out your shoulders. Maybe these muscles over here are a little bit tired. Maybe the actual shoulder blades in the back are tired from pulling back and reaching back. I hope your spine feels a little bit better, a little bit looser, because that's all we're doing for it, and it's time to move on. We're going to move on into the third and final warm-up exercise. It's called the Cossack switch. This is going to be the hardest part of the whole entire thing because you need some strength and some cardio. But don't worry, this is the most intense part. We're going to get it done, and then we're going to get into the stretches, and the stretches in comparison will be still mildly painful, but chill. Cool? Okay. Let's go. In the Cossack switches, I want you to point your feet out just a little bit to either side. I want you to try to drop down and hang out in this low squatted position. Like you're gonna hug your knees and this leg is just abandoned. Your favorite knee, your favorite child here, and then the abandoned knee, the abandoned child. What we are doing is trying to get as tight and compact as possible. If you're a regular, usually I do something a little bit different. I'm gonna try this and see how it goes. Cool. If you are joining us for the first time, just hug that leg. Hug it. Give it some love. Compress. And on this side, while you're compressing, the ankle is down, the knee is up, and the toes are pointing up. This is called leg external rotation. We need it for the side split. We need it to have a very comfortable Cossack switch. So we're highlighting it now. You're gonna need this in a little bit. Cool? External leg rotation. All right, we've hung out and we've squished a little bit on this side. Let's squish a little bit on the other side. Squish. Give your leg a little bit of a hug. Compress, get small and compact. And if you can, extend that other leg out to the side. Abandon that leg. I'm just kidding. It's getting the side split stretch. So from this point out, from the midpoint of my body out to the extended leg, this is already in a side split position because my knees are up, my toes are up, my hips are pointing forward. We like this position because it is about hip mobility and it is about side splits that we are doing this whole entire shebang for. So, heels down, toes up, knees up. All right, Cossack switches. The actual exercise that we're doing requires a lot of flexibility and mobility. That's why we spend a little bit of time trying to squish down, getting real compact here, so it's easier to get squished when we actually want to move from side to side. I'm going to do a couple examples of moving from side to side, and then you can follow along. We're aiming for 10 reps or so. All right? I want you to put your heels down now, and I want you to try to get into some sort of squat position. It doesn't have to be as low. It doesn't have to be as compressed as it was before when we were trying to get small and compact. That was just for the stretch. And then I want you to bring your butt over to the other side, and then sit down and hang out. As you get better at this, you can probably keep your butt lower and lower to the ground as you go from side to side. But if that is an issue, if your knees hurt, you can come up to a quarter squat and then slowly sink in to that stretch. We do want to spend a second at the end of each rep just hanging here, get that bonus little stretch out of the exercise. If your knees are hurting, you can come into a full squat and then come down slowly onto one side. It's not going to make your muscles work any less. It's just going to make it so that there's less pressure on your knees from when you're really low on the ground. Cool? If you want to make everything a lot easier, can't believe I skipped this part, you can put your hands down and give yourself a bunch of support. You need less balance, you need less strength, and you can just chill a little bit more. Cool? That is it. We're doing 10 reps. Get into position, figure out what you want to do. Remember, we want to end in a situation where the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knees are up. If you don't get it every time, that's all right. We want to stay in a position where the heels, both heels, are down on the ground the whole time. If you don't do that every minute of every single one of these reps, that's also okay. Just keep in mind that that's the goal and we're working towards it. Cool? All right. We're doing 10 reps. Let's go. 1, 2. Remember, you can always put your hands down. And if you leave your hips put your hips real high into the air, you can still put your hands down and give yourself support. If you want, you can do these quarter squats and come across and then sink into the stretched out bottom position. I believe this is number 5. And let's keep going. We got 5 more. This is 6, 7, maybe. I might have lost count a little bit. 8. Last 2. We got this. Quarter squat. 9. And full squat. 10. All right, those are the Cossack switches. We are wrapping those up, and I'm going to come over to check the chat because I have not been here for a little bit. That was our warm-up. It was intense. It was very intense. And don't worry, that was the hardest part. The goal of the warm-up was to get us sweaty, get us a little bit warmed up, get the heart rate up, get the blood pumping so that when we get into the stretches, your muscles have the opportunity to relax a little bit more. All right, so that's the intention. That's why we do those things. Obviously, we strengthen a little bit and we also stretch out some muscles that we need. And I don't think I need to keep on going on into this. So I'm going to check the chat. I hope you guys grab a sip of water, grab a cushion. We're getting into a hamstring stretch and we need a little bit of padding for our knees. While you go grab those, I'm going to yes, Gigi, I 100% agree with your assessment of my heels. Because I spent a lot of time talking, I unconsciously go into a more resting position, and then I bring my ankles really far forward because I don't have enough ankle mobility to keep my chest upright and look at the camera and keep the neck comfortable. I can hang out here, right, with the heels down. But when I'm explaining a whole bunch of things, when I'm pointing to stuff, when I'm leaning down, if I look up while pointing to things, my neck tends to be a little bit more uncomfortable. And so I point my knees really far forward, have the heels come up, and sort of as I'm transitioning in between these two positions, I forget what I'm doing. And that's also part of the reason why I said if your heels are not down perfectly every single time, it is absolutely okay, is because I frequently forget, and I forget during the transition. I can absolutely hang out in these positions with the heel down, but my chest is also angled a little bit further forward, and I have to work really hard to straighten out the back. And it's a little bit difficult to hold when I'm doing a lot of explaining. So occasionally, while doing a bunch of these, I'll look up at the camera and my heel will come up. For the regulars watching this, you might know that that happens all the time. And instead of just being super strict about everything, I want to make sure that the live stays friendly and fun. We're aiming and we're trying to get into the best positions. But if you can't get there quite yet, that is absolutely okay. See, I was just chilling and relaxing in this because I was trying to talk into the camera. My heels came up. I can absolutely put in a little bit of effort and stay in the heel down position, but it does take a little bit more effort. So when we're actually doing the exercises, sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm looking up trying to do a little bit of explanation and I come out of it. It happens, but I appreciate that you're pointing it out. The heels, we would like for the heels to stay down. And I did point that out. I said both heels want to stay down for the exercise, but I just don't have quite enough flexibility or pure muscle strength to hold my chest up without tweaking it a little bit so that my heels come up and I can look at the camera a little bit more easily. Whew. All right. That was a big explanation. Let's get into the stretches. The first stretch that we're going to do is the hamstring stretch. All right, we're going to drop down and do a version that looks a little bit like this. We're pointing the hips forward, the shoulders forward, the head forward, and we're sticking the leg out in front. This stretch is going to have lots of different names, and if you do a variety of different sports and gymnastics, it'll probably be something different than a hamstring stretch. But the goal here is to fold forward, and you're going to feel the hamstring stretch. The name itself is not super important because we're going to fight all day about it. From here, I want you to fold and bring the belly button down to the side. Boom, that's it. That's the whole stretch. Ta-da, we're done. To make this a little bit more intense and to get the most out of this stretch, we're going to take a big inhale. Then we're going to slowly exhale and try and fold our belly button down to the thigh. All right? That's it. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. And fold. Your hamstrings are going to tighten up. It's going to be wildly uncomfortable. And we're just going to chill here for a second. Give it a second to become normal-ish. Then we're going to do another inhale, exhale. Let's go. Inhale. Try not to bounce up when you take that inhale. Slow exhale and fold. Try to keep that low back relatively straight. We're trying to reduce the pressure on the back and the vertebrae. If you bend forward a lot, there'll be a lot of pressure pushing on the spine, and it's going to make little angles in your padding in between your spine. And we don't want that. That's no good. So try to keep it relatively straight. A little bit is okay. That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. If you are struggling to figure out how to straighten out your back, you can try to look up a little bit, and that will help to sort of point your head up. And once you point your head up, your back, your spine, your body tends to follow. So you can give that a little bit of a try. And once you get used to it, you don't have to keep on pointing your head up. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is hamstring stretch on one side. Relax, chill, take a break, and immediately switch over to the other side. Same thing. We're pointing the hips forward, the shoulders forward, everything is pointed forward. Then we're going to extend one leg out in front. If you're immediately getting super wobbly because you're off balance, you can widen your stance just a little bit, not too much. And then we're going to fold. We're going to bring the belly button down to the thighs. All right? Go ahead and get started with that. Your hamstrings are going to tighten up. Now we're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale. Slow exhale. Fold. Take some normal breaths. Your hamstrings are tight. If you have an old injury and your knees are struggling, for example, you can give it a slight bend. Take some pressure off the knee. The hamstring stretch will be reduced, so I recommend you get really, really, really far folded forward first, lengthen the hamstring stretch, and then slowly extend that knee so that it straightens out, and then you will get all of the hamstring benefits without putting pressure on your knee the whole entire time. From here, where am I going with this? We got one more inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. If you're not making that much more progress when you fold the second time, that is absolutely okay. Don't worry. And with that, it's time. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 25, 24, 23, 22. Remember, if your knee is achy, you can give it a little tiny bit of a bend to help reduce the pressure on the knee. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on up and out of that stretch. Oh. Breathe, relax. It's over. The hamstring stretch is done. It's not the only time the hamstrings are going to get stretched, but that particular stretch is done. This cushion, you don't need it anymore. You can toss it out of the way if you like. Just try not to hit anything. Grab a sip of water, drink your drinks, relax for a second, and we're going to get on into stretch number 2. That was a very big sip. All right, we're moving on into stretch number 2. It is called the butterfly. In the butterfly, we are basically doing something like this. And I recommend you get your butt to a wall. The reason why I ask you to get your butt to a wall is because the wall will keep your posture straight and it'll keep you in the right position so that you can focus on the stretch. Have your hips, your shoulder, your head up against the wall. So you got this nice straight posture. You go, whoa, this is what standing up straight is supposed to feel like. That's crazy. And not what I'm doing. Bring your feet together, pull them in towards your groin area, and look at what your knees are doing. Your knees are the focus of this whole entire stretch. We're trying to bring them down into the ground, and that will open up and stretch the groin out. That is the goal of the butterfly stretch. Before we apply pressure with our hands like this, I want you to try to use your own muscles to do this. And those muscles are the outer thighs and your glutes. I want you to flex those muscles. And I want you to pull your legs down into the ground as much as you can. I'm going to have to shift positions real soon because the wall and this table are a little bit too close together for me to reach all the way down. But with just muscle power, I cannot yet get... Oh, no, there we go. Boom. I got the edge here, and I got the table leg here with muscle power. If I were just naturally relaxed, it wouldn't hang out this low. But I'm very forcefully contracting those muscles, trying to open up the groin. And now I have reached the maximum that my physical environment is going to reach. So I'm going to scoot away. But for the rest of you, before I scoot, let's apply a little bit of hand pressure. The wall is super beneficial here because we're going to push into our legs. And then while you're pushing, you're going to feel pressure in your shoulders, pressure in the back of your head. And that is basically the wall not moving so that you can keep on pushing and putting power into your legs. If you didn't have the wall behind you, you'd probably start fumbling backwards. That's it. That's the whole entire thing. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember, we are contracting those muscles. We're trying to strengthen them. We're trying to become stronger in every position that we are getting into. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. If you are super ultra flexible, you can bring your knees down to the ground and you can fold totally forward, then you don't need the wall. But for the rest of us mere mortals, I need the wall. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let your hands go first. If your legs feel like they're stuck in position and they're not moving right now, that is absolutely a-okay. Just give them a little lift, shake them, wiggle them. They will realize that they have to be legs and work for you in just a second. Give them a little flap of these butterfly wings, and there we go. They should be back to normal. Come on up, back into standing. Keep on shaking and moving. Get those legs working again. What happens when you go and contract those muscles and try to bring your knees down to the ground for way longer than 30 seconds, because I started explaining that way before I started counting, is those muscles have been flexing for so long, they kind of fall asleep and stop figuring out how to do things. And that's okay. That's fine. We just have to give our hips a little bit of love to wake them back up and get them to function and be real legs. Okay. Weird analogy, weird example. Let's continue. We're going to move on into stretch number 3. It is the standing pancake. And the standing pancake is a little bit challenging. We're going to open up a nice wide stance. Doesn't have to be crazy. And it definitely should not hurt in the hips. If it hurts, come back up into a less deep stance. Cool? We're going to fold forward at the hips. And if this is starting to look like our setup for the elephant walk, just with our legs slightly apart, that is 100% accurate. We are just getting into this basic L shape for the standing pancake, and this is our starting position. Here, gravity is pulling our head, our chest, our whole entire upper body down towards the ground, and we're getting a little bit of bonus help in getting into the standing pancake. So, when you are folded forward, you can widen your stance as wide as you want, and it should be way more comfortable than when you were standing up straight. That's because this is already sort of the rotated leg position that we talked about earlier in the Cossack switches, and this is what we need to do for side splits. So right now, you can absolutely go as wide as you'd like, as long as you are folded forward and your belly button is pointed towards the ground. All right, we got options. But let's talk about what we want this thing to look like. We want to bring our chest, our belly button down in between our legs, and we go deep, 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 deep. That's as deep as I can get. So you can imagine the rest. From here, in this starting position, you can extend your arms out in front of you. You can feel that gravity pulling you down, and you can really try to fold forward and bring everything down towards the ground. You can help yourself by sticking your butt back just a little bit to help counterbalance that weight so you don't feel like you're falling forward. And that's basically it. That's all we're doing. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. So get into position. Stick your butt back. Extend your arms in front of you. Fold the belly button down to the ground as low as you can go. Fold, 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 fold. 30, 29, 28, 27. And if your arms are tired or this is way too intense of a stretch, you can make it less difficult. Put your hands down, pull your legs in. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Bring your knees in. kneel for a second if you need to. Relax. So there's two parts to the standing pancake that get really, really intense. And one of them we actually like, but I have to tell you why it's intense. If you did fold forward and you open up those legs nice and wide, these muscles here on the inner thighs, the adductors, ADDUCTOR, are probably going to be really tired. Maybe they were shaking a little bit, they were vibrating, they're going, what is this? This is a crazy stretch. And the deeper you got into it, the more intense that feeling was. That is because this muscle, the inner thigh muscle, its job is to contract and pull your leg in towards the center of your body. When you do the opposite, when you extend that leg out, they're getting stretched. But your body has a whole bunch of built-in mechanisms. In this case, we call it a stretch reflex, so that if you start going out into positions that your body doesn't think is quite that safe for you, it's going to go, whoa, no, it's not, and start contracting. That is what this is when you start getting stuck and your muscles are just vibrating and shaking, you can't hold it. That is your stretch reflex going, nope, nuh-uh, no way. Contracting, keeping you from getting deeper into the stretch, and you getting stuck there waiting for something to happen. That is the magic of the stretch reflex. So what is happening here is your muscles are contracting, and because we are putting all of our weight into our legs, we're balancing on top of our legs, that contraction is going to be very intense because it has to support and hold your whole entire body weight. So what we're doing is strengthening these muscles. And if you're vibrating, you're shaking, everything's feeling crazy right now, don't worry. As you do a couple more of these, as your nervous system gets a little bit more used to this movement, this intensity, you will become a badass, and this will be fine for you at some point. Cool? All right, that is the main thing I want to talk about while we relax and wait out the suffering from the standing pancake. So let's move on to something a little bit more chill. We are moving on into stretch number 4, the pigeon. If you're a regular, you know we got options, the figure 4 or the pigeon. In both, the ankle is coming across the body. We're lifting the ankle towards the chest, towards the belly button, and we are feeling the stretch out here in the side of the glute, in the side of the hips. All right? Usually I explain one or the other, so we save a little bit of time. And today, for this show, we're going to do the pigeon because at the 9 a.m. show, we did the figure 4. I'm not quite sure why I'm holding a yoga block, but let's pretend I didn't. For the pigeon, I want you to bring the ankle across your body. So the knee to the ankle is across your body. I want you to sort of aim the midpoint of your chest towards the midpoint of the leg. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a benchmark for you to focus on. All right. If this leg back here is not fully lengthened back behind you, it's not totally important for our purposes because we're not spending this much time in this type of position. We're flexing or stretching this hip flexor. And our goal is to warm up the hip, this side of it, for our side splits. All right. So this back leg, not the end of the world if you can't straighten it. And you can get just as good a stretch with your leg bent as you can with your leg straight. If you are very committed to making sure every minute of your training time is the most effective for all of the goals that could exist, I respect that. That's normal. Why are you wasting time? We're going to show a couple of variations to help you get that leg back. If right now, if you are too low to the ground and you can't get this leg back behind you, first thing you can do is elevate that leg. So I'm gonna see if this is gonna work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but maybe it will. Okay, boom. That is quite wobbly. Anyways, if you elevate that front leg just a little bit, it will open up some space here at the hip for the leg to go back. And that is how you're gonna sneak your leg in and start working on that hip flexibility while still maintaining the ability to work on that hip that we actually care about. Cool? Let's show another variation. Move stuff out of the way. This is a little bit more extreme. Extreme in that I'm short and this table is kind of tall. But you can also find something that you can put your leg into position for. So the leg is across right now and get into this pigeon stretch, the primary thing. And you can have your leg hang out back wherever it needs to hang out. Technically, to get the pigeon stretch, you can just be standing up like regular. But if you really wanted to, you can get the very, very, very slight hip flexor stretch with the leg back behind you. Cool? That, my friends, is a whole bunch of pigeon talk. So it's time to actually do it now, and we will wrap up. This is our fourth and final stretch before the side splits. So enjoy it. You get to relax a little bit more and chill a little bit more. I'm trying to decide which side I want to face while I do this, and I think I'm not going to show you my feet. I'm going to do the opposite. Not that you have had any shortage of feet so far. Come on. We are bringing the knee to ankle across the body. Bring the midpoint of the chest down towards the midpoint between the knee and the ankle, folding down so you're feeling the stretch here in the side of your hips, in your butt. Trying your best to extend the leg behind you. If you can't, it's okay. It's not important for this. And we're folding forward. Whew. Try to keep the hips low to the ground and bring your chest down after. And that's it. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. I enjoy the pigeon because it feels like you can just kind of lay down and relax here. And then there's just a whole bunch of intense stretching happening to you instead of feeling like you're actively like working your butt off trying to get into that position. It's like gravity is so nice, so helpful. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it for the pigeon. Swing around and get that other leg done. Again, we're trying to keep the hips low. And then we're folding the chest down. I don't want you to have your head all the way down and then have your hips up like you're bowing. All right? Hips down first, and then we're folding forward. Leg across, other leg back. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. If it suddenly feels like the stretch has gotten super easy and you feel like a total pro, that could be true. But it could also be that you need to push your ankles away from your groin. You need to push your ankles towards your face. And that will make the stretch way more intense. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Ooh, I wonder if I can rest my head here. 14. Kind of. 13. 12. 11. 10. Ooh, my ankle's slipping back. Push it away. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. Oh, that is the pigeon. Oh, man. Whew. We are done with all of the stretches, all of the warm-up exercise that we're going to do prior to the side splits. It's time for just side splits. We're doing 3 rounds of 30 seconds of side splits starting right now. And I'm going to come in and check the chat because I have not been here for a little bit. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to go back real quick. Junior says, wow, there's 125 people live. There's usually max 15. You're blowing up, Ken. I appreciate the good vibes. Usually it drops right back down to 15 by the end because the algorithm sends a whole bunch of traffic over trying to, I don't know, run experiments. Jake Liz says, don't forget the other side. I'm pretty sure these came in super early, so I don't know what those are about anymore. Scrolling all the way down, Alex says, hello. Hey, Alec, how you doing? Travel Roxy Center, you're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm scrolling a little bit more through the chat, trying to get back. Ganowski says, this is perfect before sleeping. It's helping me relax today. Awesome. Lovely. I know I talk really fast, trying to squeeze a whole bunch of information in, but I'm glad that you're still able to relax while I do that. Welcome back, Lulu Ganowski. Oh, whoops. I almost invited someone to the live by accident. Whoops. Let's close that. It exercises specifically to do a middle split though, so mostly hamstring stretches. Okay. So there's some questions in here. Hold on. I'm scrolling. Where are the questions? Do your heels stop hurting after doing it a while? yes, at some point your heels just become like tanks and things stop hurting. But if you have a yoga mat, if you have a Pilates mat, if you have something to give a little bit of cushion for your heels, it could be sandals, it could be sneakers if you want. Maybe you have to pick a very specific part of the house, or maybe you just got a pair of new sneakers you haven't worn yet. You can wear those for the stretches and get a little bit of cushioning, a little bit of padding for your heels because it does hurt. And if you're doing the daily, hurting every single day, that's not fun. So look for a little bit of a way to get some extra padding down there for a little bit. And as you get more skilled, I don't know if I didn't really do it with that much padding. I had a little bit of like an exercise foam half-inch thing out for a while. And then I would be lazy and not use it. So I don't know if my heels are just conditioned now or if this just happens as you use your heels more and more, even with foam, because I've done a little bit of both. Um, but you can have foam the whole time. Everything else is suffering. You don't have to keep your heels suffering the whole entire time. It's okay. Joy for Life asks, are these static stretches? Yes, for the most part, we are basically doing static stretches. We are trying to strengthen our muscles a little bit in these positions as well, but in general, they're static stretches. Charles Roxy says, I could not stop laughing. I will never forget that time you accidentally, yes, I have accidentally, while scrolling, hit invite people to the live many times. And the first time I did it, I had no idea how to exit. So there's this guy trying to have live competitions against me, and I didn't know how that whole entire like mechanic worked at all. And it was super embarrassing because I just could not stop awkward smiling, going, what the heck is going on? This is crazy. Okay, let's get into some side splits. Let's talk about safety real quick. While we are stretching, anytime we are stretching, we're trying to get into a position where our muscles will relax, chill out, and we can do some crazy foldy stuff, right? The key word here is relax. If you are feeling really tense, if you feel like, oh man, I got to get this done so I can do this, I can do that, da, 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 and you have a lot of anxiety and a lot of tension building up right now, it might not be the most effective time for you to stretch. If stretching helps to reset your brain so that you are chilling out and you are relaxing, great. That's a great reason to keep on stretching. Stretch a lot. But if your brain is cranked up to like 150,000 right now, you're going, all the things I have to do, and you're getting anxious, your muscles are probably also reacting to that and getting a little bit tight. That tightness is not going to help you get into your stretch any deeper than, if you were relaxed. This is a really long tangent. I'm going to just ignore that part. Same thing for safety. If you're a little bit scared, if you're a little bit worried that you're going to bust your butt, you're going to be a little bit more defensive, you're going to be a little bit more tense, you're going to be like, oh, I have to brace myself so that if I fall and my butt slams into the ground, it's not going to be as bad, right? You're doing all of this mental calculus trying to figure out how to stay safe, and that is going to make your muscles more tense. That's not helpful for the stretch. So add in anything that will make you feel safe. Whether you're going to cover the floor with pillows and cushions, you're going to just strip the whole couch and just lay all the pieces in front of you, or if you want to just have a couple of supportive things, do it. In this case, we're going to talk about one very specific thing, is to have something behind you. When we get into something that looks like a side split, if we fall forward, that's easy enough to handle. In fact, we spend a lot of time in this position. But if you start falling backwards, it's much harder to figure out what you're going to do. You're like, oh, geez, what the heck? Ugh. And then if you casually just have a really nice table behind you that will help you get into a position where you look like that was totally intentional and you can talk to the camera, great, awesome. Have something behind you. In general, I recommend having a wall and standing about 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall so that if you lean back a little bit, your butt can touch the wall and you have just enough room so that you can do the stretches. Cool? That way, when you fall backwards and you're like, oh, what the heck? The wall will be there. That'll help keep you safe. And you only fall just a little bit. Cool? Cool. Safety. Whew. And with that, it's time. Let's do some side splits. We're going to open up the legs. Doesn't have to be crazy wide. What I don't want you to feel is pain right here in the hips. And I want you to fold forward, point the belly button down towards the ground. Once you're here, you can widen your stance as much as you want. It should not hurt. But I do want you to put your hands down, and I want you to almost feel like you're doing a little bit of a push-up. All right? The push-up isn't because I'm trying to straighten your triceps. It is because I want you to shift your weight into your arms and take some of the weight off of your legs. Why are we doing that? Because we want to externally rotate them, which means the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. This is called external leg rotation. We need to do this in order to get our hip bones out of the way of our leg bones. And let us get into a side split. So once you've done that, I want you to walk your hands back towards your hips. All the weight that we shifted forward and put into our hands, we're putting that right back into our legs because they are in position and ready to suffer for the side splits. Once you're here, once you're like, oh, I can't get any deeper, this is crazy, I want you to try a little tiny wiggle from side to see if maybe it's just friction holding you back, holding your feet back. And once you're really stuck and you're totally not moving any further, we're holding this for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. You're probably hearing me take enormous inhales and exhales. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Almost done. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward. Walk your hands out. Pull those knees in. Hang out in this kneeling position. Maybe when you're pulling the legs in, you'll feel that your hips are going, whoa, what the heck is that? That is some side splits. Chill, relax, grab a sip of water, do whatever you got to do, and when you can, come back into standing. What we just did was a whole bunch of really intense contractions in the legs. Yes, we were stretching them, but also all the muscles are going, no, what's going on? Stop it. That contraction is what we're going to try to release and relax right now with a bunch of flicky, shaky, wiggly stuff. All right. So I want you to start by sort of kicking your legs out like you just got out of a swimming pool, got out of a pond, and your feet are a little bit wet. You're trying to dry them off. You're kicking the water off of your legs. When you do this at the beginning, it'll look a little silly. It'll feel a little bit weird. That's okay. You're not doing this in front of the internet. That's fine. Shake out the leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. As you get more comfortable with the idea of shaking out your leg, you can add in a little bit more movement. I want your legs to feel floppy and feel loose. Once again, switch to the other side. We're starting with just a casual flick forward. And then as you get more comfortable, I want your ankles to flop around like they don't have any bones. I want your calves to shake. I want your legs to basically vibrate, turn into a giant shaky floppy thing. And this is how you prove to yourself, this is how you force yourself to be relaxed. Maybe this isn't 100% relaxed, but this gets you relaxed a lot faster than if you're just chilling, sitting on the couch waiting for your muscles to relax. You can use this technique of shaking out the tension for anything where you are doing reps and you're building up a lot of tension in between and your muscles are feeling stiff. Because that's the job, is to relax. Relax. All right. That's it. We're shaking out the legs. If your hips are still feeling a little bit tight, a little bit tense, you can give them a light massage. You can do a little bit of wiggling at the hips on either side. And if you need a little bit of explanation on what we're doing, the whole entire upper body is staying in the same place. The hips are not moving. All the movement is coming from the joint right here. We're rotating the joint. The knee looks like it's moving. It is, technically moving, but all of the movement is happening here at this bone that I'm pointing to with both hands. Cool? And we can call it Stanky Leg Junior. Those are my favorite names for this particular thing. It's really good for loosening up the hip muscles. All right, we spent a whole bunch of time relaxing in between the first one and the second one. So let's get into the second one. Side split number 2. Once again, get in front of whatever you're going to fall back on in case you start falling backwards. 8 to 12 inches is plenty. We are going to open up that stance. No pain at the hips. We're going to fold forward, point the belly button down towards the ground, put your weight into your hands to make it easier to externally rotate your legs, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. From here, you might feel like you can just slip into a deeper stretch than that first round that we just did. And if you can, great. Walk your hands all the way back towards your hips. Put the weight into your legs. Do a little wiggle from side to side. Break the friction, holding your feet back from sliding out. And it's time for round 2. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is number 2. Walk your hands forward. Pull your legs in. And chill. Relax. Take a break. Grab a sip of water if you'd like. I have not had a sip of water in a while. That's not bueno. I gotta remember to stop putting cold water out because it condenses and there's all that moisture on the side of the water bottle. And as soon as I start drinking, I leave a pile of water right in front of me. Fantastic. Good thing we only have side splits left, and I am not going to need this space in the center. Cool. All right, come on up, back into standing. Oh. Shake out those legs. Relax those muscles. Shake, shake, shake. Flick, 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 like you're just getting water off of your leg from a trip to the pool. And then as you get more skilled, as you get more advanced, as you get more comfortable with shaking and flicking, I want you to shake that leg out. Shake, 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 flick, 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 flick. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And when that leg is a little bit more relaxed, I want you to add in a whole bunch of fun stuff. All right. I want you to imagine you're playing hacky sack, but you don't have to do it so extreme. Just a little bit of tucking that ankle in and up, and shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. You can lean onto something for balance. You don't have to lift this leg super high and shake. I just do that to help demonstrate, so it can be right next to you, just flopping around. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. If you're just learning some movement, you can try to plant one big toe down. There's no weight on this leg, and you can rotate that leg a little bit so that the quads shake around, the hamstrings move around a little bit. And that is it. We have shaken out our legs. They are a little bit more relaxed. I recommend you do a little bit of movement specifically for this part of the hips, whether that is some sort of heel dangly thing or the squat thing, stanky leg that we did earlier. Just a little bit, loosen up the muscles. And with that, it's time to move on into side split number 3. If you have somehow not realized, we're doing 45-ish minutes, 60 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes to the internet. I hope you bring good vibes right back into the chat, support each other, and hopefully that combination, consistency, hang out with other people who are trying to do the same thing, good vibes, makes it a lot easier for us to make a whole bunch of progress in our hip mobility, in our side splits. Side splits do not magically appear. You build a lot of hip mobility long before you get into the side splits. So when I say side splits, I'm talking about all the progress in between before we get there as well. Cool. If that sounds fun, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. And on weekends, we also do 9 a.m. Eastern. That was the spiel. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's get into side split number 3. We're going to open up those legs decently wide. Again, no pain at the hips at this point. Fold forward. Bring the belly button down towards the ground. Extend the hands out in front of you. And take this time while you're folded forward to get into a wider position if you want. From here, I want you to put the weight into your arms so that it's easier to externally rotate your legs. If you can just like externally rotate your legs at any time and you don't care, you don't need to have your hands in front, but I am trying to make this easy for people who are learning it for the first time. And we are in that externally rotated leg position, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. From here, try to walk your hands back towards your hips. Put that weight that you shifted forward back into your hips and sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. If you're wondering how I'm doing this with my hands up, it is because I have already leaned against the wall, against the leg of this table. And so I have a little bit of a tripod supporting my butt. And that means if I'm not using my hands, all of the weight is being put into my legs, plus the butt a little bit. So I can get into a little bit more intense of a stretch. Whew. All right, that's it. Do a little wiggle. We're almost done. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost done. 2, 1, 0. Walk your hands forward. Avoid any piles of water you might have left on the floor. Whew. And bring these knees in towards the ground. Come back into a kneeling position. Chill. Whew. Man, I might have overdone it a little bit. My hips are tired. Okay. When you can, come back into standing. Let's shake out those legs. Shake, 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 shake. Flick those legs out. And as you get more comfortable with the flick, shake, wiggle, flop, move that leg around and let the muscles relax. Shake, 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 shake. This is our third and final one. So shake out your arms. Shake out everything that was working so hard to keep you in that side split position. Maybe your fingertips are a little bit tired because you've been trying desperately to reach the ground and push some body weight up and out of your legs. Give them a little bit of love. I don't know if you can relax the fingers as much, but I do it a little bit like this. Flop, 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 flop. Whew. Switch to the other side. I don't know how we did the other leg for so long. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. When we're doing these shakes, you might be a little bit more sensitive to what's happening when you focus on your arms, because most people are more aware of their arms. If you flop around like this, I want you to feel your bicep sort of swinging from side to side. I want you to feel a little bit of pull on your tricep. I want you to, know that your wrists are going crazy and going flopping everywhere. And I want you to slowly realize what is happening in the muscles in the arm, and then just apply those same wiggly ideas to the leg. You might be able to feel that calf flop around when there's no tension on it. You might be able to feel the quad flopping around when there's no tension on it. And that is what we want. We want the floppy. We want the muscles to be so relaxed, they're just flopping all over the place. Okay. Whew. That is us shaking out the leg muscles. We're gonna do a quick little bit of joint checks just to make sure everything is working well together. It should be if you were flopping so vigorously around. But we're going to do the checks anyway. We're going to start with some hip circles. I feel a lot of pressure here in the side of the hips. So when I do hip circles, I like to give them a second extra of love when I get to either of these sides. But if you take the hip circles very seriously, you'll feel a little bit of a hamstring stretch. You'll feel the hip flexor stretch. You'll feel stretches on the side of those hips. And if everything feels more or less normal, we can move on into some high knees. Just work those hip flexors, lift that knee, lift those legs, and come on into a bit of a squat. Fold at the hips, put some pressure on the knees, put some pressure on the ankles, put some pressure on the feet. See if you can do a little bit of a calf raise. See if you can do some of that squatting. And if all of those movements are working well, your movement is feeling pretty smooth, normal for you, then we are done. That's it. Congratulations. Thank you for being here, working out so hard on a Saturday night. And I hope you had fun. We just did 65 minutes of live side split stretching. Try my best to explain a whole bunch of stuff, probably over explained a tad, but I want people to come in and feel welcome because we're all about taking action and we're all about practicing consistency. If we make it esoteric, we use crazy words that nobody understands and we don't explain things, it's not going to help other people sit down and go do the thing that they need to do. All right. That was a really intense rant. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the workout. I hope you're feeling a little bit more relaxed at the end so that you can, enjoy the next couple hours before you go to bed. I hope you had fun. I hope to see you again soon. But before I let you all go, I got to do the spiel. We did 65-ish minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes to the internet. I hope you bring good vibes into the chat. And I am super behind on checking the chat. So I'm gonna do that right after this. The goal is to combine those two things: consistency, good vibes, community, having people around you doing the same thing, struggling, suffering on the floor, and hopefully make that process a lot easier. The process of working on our hip mobility, working on our side splits. And that's it. That's all we do. Cool? All right. Time to check out the chat. Mia, thank you for the compliment. You star a kid program. I think that's a compliment. So thank you for the compliment. Canasti says, thank you, everyone. And I'll see you all tomorrow in like 11-ish hours is the next one. But you don't have to make all 4 of the weekend lives. Pick whichever ones make sense for you. If that's in 23 hours, I'll see you in 23. Goodbye, Travel with Roxy. Goodbye, Mia Ganowski. Siren sent a gift. Thank you. I'm scrolling. Sunset sent a whole bunch of stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you for being here. Amelia Bedelia, welcome. Is struggling the side splits. Absolutely. That's 100% normal. And I think one of the best parts of the live is when you're by yourself and you're like, oh, this stinks. I don't want to do any more of this. It's really easy to quit. But when I'm counting for you and I'm doing all the number stuff, you're like, fine. I'll do a little bit more and I'll finish the 30 seconds. That, I think, is the best part. Because I know if I were not on the live, if I were not counting live, it is so much harder for me to count all 30 seconds and do the stretch. I have on many occasions to, go take photos and stuff for Instagram, gone outside and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the stretch. And then I kind of just, I don't put in quite the effort that I do onto the live. And I'm like, that's enough. It's okay. That's fine. This is good. This is all right. So I hope that you learn from my lesson and take advantage of the live and know that as long as you're not counting, you're just going to follow through on the count. All right. Travel with Roxy says, I will never forget that time you accidentally invited someone to live. I couldn't stop laughing. Yes. Man, the things I've learned on TikTok since the beginning. I still accidentally invite people to live. And then now I have the ability to actually figure out where the setting is hidden in all of these buttons to kick them out of the live. And for us regular folks, that is not like attending the live. I don't know how to do that actually, now that I think about it. But you can invite like somebody else who's live streaming to compete with you on live. And one of the things that I see in the chat is I can invite people to co-host now, and it's basically like right next to every single name there's an invite button. So if I put my finger right here on this portion of the screen while I'm scrolling, I can accidentally invite somebody, and I have to be very conscious of scrolling a little bit differently. And yeah, that's basically it. People come in occasionally, and we have some weird moments where they're trying to challenge me to TikTok games. I think there's got to be some sort of incentive structure for winning the games or having competition in live stream on TikTok. That's not my thing, so I'm not really worried about it. And I just try my best to fix my mistake and kick people out. Yeah. Okay. Siren says, thank you for this. Randomly stumbled on this and will be tuning in. Lovely. Thank you so much for giving it a shot. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for doing the exercises and taking action. I appreciate it. It's hard. It's not easy to find some random dude on the internet and be like, oh, I'm gonna work out now. That makes total sense. So thank you for being weird and for being here. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Tyler says bye. Bye-bye. 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 Okay. I think that is most of the chat. Gayeta says, I hope you had a happy new year. We did have a fun time. Travel with Roxy, I hope you had a happy new year as well. Thank you. Have a blessed 2026. All right. Goodbye, everybody. I need to scroll back into the chat because at one point, somebody was talking about my heels up and heels down. And I spent a whole bunch of time talking about form and trying our best. So I'm going to see if there was any more comments back on that topic from earlier. I'm scrolling. You don't have to stay here for this. This is just me trying to figure out if that conversation went anywhere or if they had already left by the time I read the comments. They were so tired of looking at my heels not put on the ground that they abandoned the live. Okay, where are we going? Wow, this is real far back. Oh, okay, cool. They're a yoga practitioner. Skandasana, both heels are down. Yes, the bent one, right heel down. The bent one. Okay, that was it. Seems like they left. All right, that's a bummer. Cool. I am not a super stickler for form. Everybody needs some time to get into the positions, and therefore, I am also not perfect at my form at all times. And I know that that's the case. That's why I say right out into the live, if you can't do it every single time, it is absolutely a-okay. Because for example, I give you like 100 different cues all at the same time, and whatever ones you remember, go work on those ones. If you don't remember what else I got to talk about, hopefully I repeat it at some other time and you will know. That's the only way we can learn. If we wait for a perfect moment with all of the information complete, it's going to be really hard to make progress because I am never going to remember all the things I could be pointing out every single time. So just hop into it, start. If something is dramatically bad and dangerous for you, you'll know. It'll be uncomfortable. And hopefully by the point that you realize it's uncomfortable, I'll have explained it better. But I've been doing this live for a little over a year now, every single day. And I can tell you, you're probably going to be okay. So even if your form isn't perfect, it's fine. Just get started and we'll start tweaking things and adjusting things. And as you get stronger, you feel more confident, things will come to you. All right, that's the spiel. It is 10 p.m. Eastern. It's a little past that. So I think it's time to let you go do other things. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope you enjoyed the exercise. I hope you enjoyed the stretch. I hope you're feeling loose and relaxed and feeling like a badass, because that is everything. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I'm closing it out right now. I'm going to start with YouTube over here on this side. Actually, there are some comments over here that I didn't address. I am so wrong. Yo, Rick says, dude, he's doing some difficult stretches. Bro. Yo, Rick, if you're still on, thank you for engaging in the chat. Thank you for sending in good vibes. I appreciate it. Okay, now I'm closing the chat. Bye.